Hello. Hello, all you fun people. Oh my goodness, looks like there's a whole bunch of people here already. How exciting. So I just wanted to say, yes, I agree that Gray Bay is reminiscent of a Cabbage Patch Kid. I think that's actually spot on, Kathy White. Wow, that's really exactly right. Amazing. I hadn't thought of it, but as soon as I saw your comment, I was like, that is exactly it. I always say she kind of reminds me of Uncle Festus, but I think that the Cabbage Patch Kid wins it. So nice to see everybody. Hannah, MS, Jamie. Hey, nice to see you. Glad you enjoy the shows and glad that you could make it. No, I don't think they belong either. Maureen, nice to see you. Thistle Bay, Kathy, Dreadful Penny, that's me. Yeah, so and Ocean Sounds, nice. Lots of people are here, so fun. Yeah, so I was just thinking, I haven't really responded to any of the CrimeCon stuff in particular. Lots of people covered it, and it seemed like, I don't know. I'm not very good at like responding real quickly like that. I'm a bit slow, so. But it's been bugging me a lot. That Lauren and John and Trisha and all these people have just kind of faced this stuff out and are carrying on behaving in this awful way. I don't think that they have been unaffected by the pushback that they got. Hi, Carolyn. Nice to see you. Old Woman of the Hills, Sparky Pilot, Garth David. Yay. Hi, Garth David. They look like gummy bears. I'm guessing that's the end of that. Cappy. Nice to see you. Nice to see everybody. Yeah, so I just wanted to revisit these guys a little bit. This video, I'm going to respond to the video where they talk about Corey Richan's statement. Gummy bears, yes, I assumed, Garth. And they don't do a lot of lives anymore. They spend a lot of their time on Patreon in their safe space. They both appear to be, I'm assuming John is on some kind of weight loss drug. He has lost a lot of weight, and I don't think it's just the stress. But it doesn't particularly look good on him, in my opinion. He looks equally as stressed as Lauren. This particular image of them in these bright colors with their phony presentation of being like, yeah, everything's cool. We're still the cool hidden true crime couple that everybody loves so much, is very like this whole video was very, apart from being full of Lauren's irrelevant commentary, Dr. John didn't really have anything to say that was even very, hi, random old lady. Like he was just completely uninspired. The tension between the two of them is very awkward and uncomfortable. They kind of don't even seem to like each other, all that stuff. So I thought it would be fun to just take them apart a bit, dismantle their stupidity a bit. I am just an ex-mechanic with an English degree. I don't have any particular credentials, mental health credentials or anything like that. I have some experience, from my own family and then my life following my life with my family, of toxic people. And so I have developed a skill that, I would rather not have had to develop, but I did. And I'm generally pretty good at dismantling their toxic nonsense. So that's why I'm here. I was a heavy equipment mechanic, Maureen. I worked for the city of Vancouver. And then I injured myself really badly and had to stop doing that. So the other thing I wanted to share, so just to, it's actually not just bragging, although it's going to seem like it, but a lot of you will have seen this episode that I covered the other day of Ex-Mormon Snark, where they covered, I have to say that in inverted commas, that they covered Prop 8 for Pride, and they absolutely just basically exploited the LGBT community for giggles and for shits and giggles. Basically, they shrieked with laughter a lot. They did not one time speak to an LGBTQ person. Megan did not even acknowledge her membership in the LGBT community, LGBTQ, that she, came out on Mormon Stories podcast and told us all about. Hi, Gucci, about how she's, bisexual and everything. So it was it was disgusting. I mean, it was beyond not being good content. It was offensive and it was exploitative. And so I just wanted to show you guys, the reason I came to share this page here is to show you that she has received 526 views for that absolute abomination of a video, and I have received 2.3 thousand views. So just to say, it's not really about bragging that, oh, I'm better than her. That's not the point. The point is, I am extremely glad that 4 times as many people have heard me point out what an exploitative piece of garbage that was than have heard the exploitative piece of garbage. So I wanted to say that because I wanted to give people heart in the fact that it seems like what we are doing in terms of the creators who are trying to expose these people might actually be gaining some traction. So I just wanted to share that with everybody and thank everybody who watched, because I think it's really important not to let Megan have the floor for important situations. So apart from that, Rex Heuermann was sentenced today, 3 life sentences. I'm not going to say much more about it because I feel like I don't want to just touch lightly on something that was obviously the most, just a hugely important day for so many people. So, but just to say, the deal is done. Yeah, and she's not putting out Lover of Bad Puns. Hi, nice to see you. Says her regular channel is getting tiny views now too. She's not putting out much content on her regular channel. She has another channel too, believe it or not. She has a meditation channel, which is, there's barely anything on it, but that's actually a bunch of you will have seen the little shorter video I made the other day of Megan, saying that her role is to tell you what to Google. So I would tell you to Google self-affirmations, and that's her coaching. I found that stuff on that meditation channel, but yeah, Gumby and Pokey. So they're gonna start the conversation with somebody saying that they look like SpongeBob and the larger person. So anyway, I just thought we would watch this. We'll see how far we get through it. It's they say a lot of stuff that is really revealing of how hypocritical they are and how full of shit they are. And you will be reminded of all of the terrible, terrible things that they did that they never took accountability for, while they sit over here explaining how other people need to take accountability for their bad behavior. So it's not illuminating in terms of, you're not going to learn. We're not learning from these people. We are learning about these people. That's why we watch them. So thank you for coming. Yes, John is terrible at what he does. And he's so uninspiring. Like I was shocked by, how I often talk about the 3 forms of rhetoric, that there's pathos, ethos, and logos. So logos is logic, pathos is emotion, and ethos is like your credentials, your ethics, who you are, right? And how much those things work. Because I think back to when I first was watching these guys, and the fact that John is a forensic psychologist literally papered over how terrible he is at this. Like, I was so willing to believe so much just because of his credentials. So it can be a very effective form of rhetoric, is all I'm saying, to go like when he was on the phone with the cop saying, oh, I'm a forensic psychiatrist here and I am diagnosing all these women as stalkers, sort of thing. Assuming that would carry water, and it often does, right? So anyway, here we go. It's embarrassing for everyone, so we'll just do our best. John is living in his past credentials. I would absolutely agree with that, Kathy. He is, yeah. Good question, right? How can you have the education he has and not have any work? Like, it's a mystery, right? It's because he's not very good at his job, I would guess. Anyway, here we go. Let's listen to them embarrass each other and us for a while. See how far we get through it.
She's covering her eyes, covering her ears. She doesn't want to deal with the reality. She doesn't want to deal with the truth of the situation, clearly.
I don't know. There was a joke from Grayson right before we pressed play. We look like who?
SpongeBob and Patrick.
SpongeBob and Patrick. That's what she.
So I feel like that's insulting, right? Isn't that insulting? Why would they leave this in? Is this live? Maybe it's
just
live.
said.
Yeah, I take it. You're SpongeBob and I'm Patrick.
Ding, ding, ding.
If you had to pause on that one, you clearly haven't been watching SpongeBob. You haven't seen the latest.
Well, I think most people know what SpongeBob looks like. And I think that clearly I would be SpongeBob. And by process of elimination, you would be Patrick.
Right, that's true.
So with that.
See, she wasn't saying that he's fat. Right? That's the plausible deniability of the narcissist.
That we're not going to be talking about SpongeBob today because
also look at Lauren's face. Like, she looks awful, right? I mean, she's toned down the eyebrows a bit, but she looks literally like, you know how people look really weird when they shave off their eyebrows, and it might take you a little minute to work out what it is that looks so weird about them? She kind of has that look about her, that weirdly bald look. Although clearly she has drawn eyebrows on, but she does not look well.
I think SpongeBob's pretty clean, except for any crappy patty recipes he may have stolen. I think we're good though. We're talking today about.
See, like, this is their, you know how they talk about how they're Sean talked about in his 4-hour response video about how the HTC brand is to bring levity to the situation. This is their idea. Look at them, right? Like, John actually he looks like an old man, right? Doesn't he? Like, the way that it's because his skin is going to be so loose from losing so much weight, but they do not look well. So just to say, like, that's another thing I want to say, like, that's because I am quite sure it's because of all the clapback that they've received. And I know that they're soldiering on and they're still, acting as though they didn't do anything wrong and everything's just fine. Clearly they are affected by what has gone on. And that's part of the reason why I feel like it's important to keep at them, right? I mean, they are pretty shameless and they clearly have plans going forward, but I just don't think we should make it easy for them.
Corey Richards, who looked more like an inmate this week. She did not have her street clothes on. She was sentenced.
All right, sorry. I have to speed it up. I can't. Lauren is just too god-awful. Sorry, I didn't think to do it at the beginning. There we go. All right.
This is a really overwhelming sentencing. Did a full recap. I'm glad you're taking it away tonight because we have questions. We have questions about Corey and her statement in court. And I see you looking over your notes. You've got.
Yeah, like, it's so weird, right? Lauren is so insanely boring. And yet she always manages, like, I don't know how, if I was like Lauren and I was as incapable of being actually comfortable in front of the camera and expressing my opinions or, asking my questions or whatever, I wouldn't keep doing it. Like, it's so bizarre that she is so off-putting on camera and she just carries on with this. Absolutely, you didn't miss much, HMS Gen X lady. We just had a discussion about how these two look like SpongeBob and Patrick. It was them discussing that, not us. And that's it. We're literally 1 minute and 37 seconds in, and I couldn't stand how slow it was. Yeah, drunk or hungover. They sound, I mean, they never sounded good. And now they seem like they are out of touch with reality.
Got some graphs happening.
No, there's no graph.
Okay, what is with this cough of Lauren's? What is it? Is she literally, what is going on? Has she got TB or something? Like, why can she not get rid of this cough?
Graphs, just notes.
Well,
Graphs would be interesting, but
but it's not every day that you see a convicted murderer give a statement at their sentencing. They often do. They don't always. And she gave a 38-minute one. So I am curious, as is everybody else, your take.
well,
Yeah, everybody's just dying to hear from Dr. John, right? That's the myth, right? That everybody just can't wait to hear from Dr. John. Like, we're all just on tenterhooks here waiting to hear what Dr. John thinks about Corey. What could be the psychology of Corey? Oh my God.
said a convicted murderer, which technically is true, but I think if you ask Corey, she would not tell you that she's a convicted murderer. So I think that was one of the interesting elements of her statement, as a matter of fact.
Or she is a, yeah, okay, yeah.
Wow.
As a matter of fact,
Thoughts, deep thoughts with Lauren Matthias. Yeah. I never thought of it that way.
I'm going to read
Florida? ERFLA, sorry. ERF, I'm going to call you because that's. Anyway, ERF says, I've seen references to Lauren having MS. That can affect the vocal cords. Okay. She has talked about it. Yeah, she talked about it in her Moral Stories podcast.
one of the more interesting statements she made. This was towards the very end of her sentencing statement. She said, quote, I wish this nightmare would go away and we could have our family back.
I think about how much I wish I could be with you, so this nightmare would go away, and we could have our family back.
So you might say,
Cabby says, I'm not a psychologist, but I'll take a stab at this. I think the accused had a very strange pathology. This is the level of analysis you're going to get from Lauren. Exactly that.
no big deal, right? But let's
No, I noted that one. I actually said I believe her when she said that.
But let's unpack that statement. I wish, right? That shows fantasy.
Mhm.
Nightmare is a dream. It's a dream gone wrong, but a dream gone bad, but it's still a dream, right? She's acknowledging. She's acknowledging, I think, to a large degree that.
Okay, so a lot of people are talking about the MS in the chats here. So I looked it up a bit just to see, like, could you be diagnosed with MS and then, 20 years later, nothing? And apparently, yes, right? It is possible that she could be. There is a type of MS, I can't remember what it's called exactly, but yeah, where it goes into remission for long periods of time. So she could be telling the truth about that. I'm not saying she is. I'm not saying she isn't. I'm just saying I did look it up, and it seems like it's possible that she could have this type of MS that is mostly in remission.
She exists in this fantasy of, which I think was true of her whole statement. Here's something else she said. She talked about the charges of murder and attempted murder. She said she still can't say these words. She can't say those words. I can't believe this is real. It makes me sick. I'm still in shock and disbelief.
So murder, an attempted murder, 4 years later, and it's still hard for me to say those words out loud. They get caught in my throat, I turn my stomach and I try to avoid them as much as possible because it makes me physically sick to think about. But still to this day, I can't believe this is real sometimes. That this is our life. That this is my life. Convicted of taking one of the people out of my life that killed it the most.
Right. That's related to this.
Again, right? Like, I also, just to comment, right? Like, their videos are not, it's like, that's not even, he literally just read out everything she said, and then he played the exact same clip. Like, it's not even well done in terms of that. Like, this is their producer puts this garbage out like this. Like, what was the point of that?
Idea, this wish that this doesn't exist, this wish that this never happened. It's the same thing. She's saying the same thing, that she's created this fantasy that she didn't commit this crime. And that because of that, there's a sense in which there's.
Okay, God, like, talk faster, John. This is not that deep. She's living in a fantasy. She's delusional. She's like, it's not that deep. Any of us could have said this already and been through it. Listless, that's the perfect word for it. This is at 1.25, right? I can't speed it up any faster because it changes. They put on other clips and then it just becomes too hard to listen to at vastly differing speeds. So.
There's some disbelief on her end that she's there, that she's experiencing this, right? Here's another thing she said. Eventually, she keeps talking about going home.
Yeah.
Right. She's going to go home. She's going to prove everyone wrong and go home, right? Because she's appealing this. Quote, our justice system will get this right, although this courtroom can't seem to. that was
Our justice system, say that again.
She said this.
Lauren thinks that's really funny. Look at her. She's looking, see how she thinks that's really funny. Lauren is so relatable. Yeah, they're terrible. They are absolutely terrible. Like, I can't believe 132,000 views they got on this. Like, what? It is so hard to get through. And they seem out of sync. They seem bored. They seem unengaged. It is absolute trash.
She said, quote, our justice system will get this right, meaning she thinks she'll go home, although this courtroom can't seem to.
So somehow this courtroom is not part of the justice system.
Or it's a corrupt part of the justice system, right? Or it's a part of the justice system that can't get it right.
Yeah.
Right. So if you just listen to her, or if she never mounted a defense, by the way, but apparently.
I don't know about you, but for me, I find it really off-putting that he's talking to her instead of talking like to the camera when they're both sitting facing the camera. Like, they should be sat across the table from each other if they're going to talk to each other like that. I think, like, again, Grayson. I thought Grayson was some great producer. This is dog shit.
She thinks if she did, that she would have shown quite clearly that she wasn't guilty.
Yeah.
So I think I want to start with those observations, because I think what frames this whole debate, if you remember the show we did during the trial, the first show we did where I talked about the three wise monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to guess that Lauren is one of those people who has 35 Stanley cups and a custom shelf built in her kitchen to display them all.
Yeah.
Right. The idea of see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. The idea that if you somehow don't listen to the truth, don't see the truth, don't hear the truth, that you're not accountable for the truth.
Yeah.
So he does this see no evil, hear no evil, like he's going to try to frame this as the theme. And then he just basically never mentions it again, except for a couple times offhandedly. So I would agree with the comment that John is getting lazier. And also Ocean Sounds, he always corrects Lauren and seems quite happy to leave her looking stupid, just sitting there on the table, while she backpedals and tries to apologize for how stupid and uninformed she is. It's must-watch TV.
Yeah.
That you're in denial. That theme reappears here, and it shows up in these ways.
Continuing.
If you talk about murder or attempted murder, as she says, it makes her sick. She can't believe that this is real, right? She sees this whole thing as a nightmare, which in some sense implies that it's not real. That this is a wish, this is a dream, this is a fiction that she's living through. And when the courts get it right, when
Right? It's a wish, it's a dream, it's a fiction that Lauren is a journalist and that John is a psychologist, right? Is a forensic psychologist. They're just always describing themselves, these idiots. Oh my God, Hannah. Hannah Dockrell says the Stanley Cup comment makes me think I would live to see. I think you mean love, maybe, because live works as well. I would live to see Lauren on a Real Housewives franchise. Yeah, right. I can totally picture her with that. I can totally picture her with all the Stanley Cups. Yeah. 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 Dr. Josh, she does. I saw that. I saw little clips of her when she was trying to get the attention of, I can't remember who it was at Gigi's live stream there. But yeah, Dumb and Dumber. They get dumber and dumber all the time. I mean, I think maybe they've also got Gray Bay, so they've also got Dumberist, you know. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I'm getting lost in my own thoughts.
when justice comes to her side finally and rescues her, then she'll go home.
You know, even Josh Grossman was very much a fantasy, you know, when, you know, a lot of their relationship was actually through text. And one day we can live in the Midway mansion together and we can raise kids together. Never came to fruition. There was never actually a relationship when they were together. It was very much a fantasy.
Yeah, and it's so true.
Right? These guys like the analysis, right? Like, this is why we watch these guys, because this is stuff that we could never think up of ourselves, right? That is where their value is. This is why these people are pulling in a couple $1 million a year. Scott Reich, thank you. That Lauren was trying to get in with at CrimeCon. Kathy White has reminded me. And also distracted me, but that's not hard to do. I'm very easily distracted these days. So we'll just carry on.
Not only in her situation, but of criminals in general, that they create these fantasy worlds and then they live in them and then they're incapable of escaping them.
Yeah.
So again, the Three Wise Monkeys.
Oh yeah, I was saying, yeah, the Three Wise Monkeys. Yeah, it's exactly like the Three Wise Monkeys. It really is. Criminals committing crimes and then not wanting to own up to them. That's exactly like the Three Wise Monkeys. Wow, insane. It's insane. I never would have thought of that. The reason I never would have thought of it is because it's not really like the Three Wise Monkeys.
So you see that here. Here's another example or something. Here's another quote. She said, "It's an absolute lie that I took your dad from you."
So Lover of Bad Puns says, the one thing I will say, John may have managed to lower his blood pressure because he's usually all hyped up. Here he is relatively laid back. Yeah, he's going to go on to brag about how he has whipped his, self into shape. He will not be mentioning Ozempic.
Right. Your dad was in lots of pain.
And as much as you've been influenced into thinking that Dad was murdered, that I took your dad from you, that is completely wrong and an absolute lie. And the thought of that is still as absurd today as it was 4 years ago. And just
She just, who she reminds me of, right? She reminds me of Lauren in her 9-hour live, crying and whimpering and pretending that she was the victim. That's exactly who she reminds me of. This phony victimization nonsense.
just because someone may not be perfect, that's a far reach for them to be capable of murder. To kill someone, someone. Your dad was in physical pain, a lot of physical pain. And just because some people didn't know or didn't want to see certain things, doesn't mean they weren't happening.
Sorry. Again, listening to Corey, we all heard this. She didn't say anything worth hearing, but Lover of Bad Puns says, oh, he didn't whip himself into shape. LOL, I guarantee you none of his habits have changed. So yeah, just to say, I did not mean to imply that I think he did whip himself into shape. I think that the chances that John suddenly developed the willpower to gain control of his weight by attending the gym, every single day of the week and changing his diet and everything throughout the time that his whole kingdom is being threatened with falling apart because he's been exposed as the liar and the phony that he is. That is not believable to me. I think it's very obvious that he's lying, and it's all to save face. Somebody said that they suspect that somebody said, I can't remember who it was now, somebody said that he spends all his time in bed, and now that I believe.
Or they weren't true, he would have never left us intentionally. And I would have never taken him from you.
So she doesn't really address what happened. There's a moment where she says, quote, I can't give an explanation that I don't know.
Wait, I can't give an explanation that I don't know.
The closest she gets to actually
Lauren pretending to be deep and think about that. What does that mean? Everything the woman does is a pretense at intelligence, at understanding, at awareness, at deep knowledge of true crime, and perpetrators, right? Everything is a pretense with these two. Even Dr. John, he's able to fake it a little more convincingly, but I still think he doesn't have any real insight. The only two cases that I've seen that he worked on, he minimized the behavior of sex offenders in order to help them get out, to get off of the charges. So, he pretends that he's out here fighting the good fight against the pedophiles. And in fact, he's the one that's helping them get off. So everything these two do is a pretense. But Lauren is so transparent that, like, I don't understand how she can live with the discomfort of how uncomfortable she is, except for the idea that she has no idea that she comes across that way, is the only thing that makes any sense to me.
So it seems like when you're addressing the court, and her children kind of implied this, that they want to know, they want an explanation, right? They want.
Oh gosh, shut up, John. God, he's so bad. So Bethy Boop, thank you. Bethy says, I remember to hit the like button. Please hit the like button. I'm terrible at remembering to say that. And also, if you would like to support the channel, there are super chats. And I mean, with money, you don't have to. You can support me by liking, hitting the like and the subscribe. That's all very good too. But if you do want to support me, the channel financially, there are links in the description for my PayPal and buy me a coffee. Also, there's super chats and all the rest of it. And also, you don't have to do any of that. Just showing up and watching is also supporting the channel.
An admission of guilt. They want to know what happened. And she says, she addresses that by saying, quote, I can't give an explanation that I don't know.
Lauren, you're so boring. God. Kenzie and Logan's mama. I don't know why I can't get that one in my head. I have to read it out every time. It's so awkward to have her just sitting there staring while John rambles his usual pretentious nothingness. That's what I mean. It's like, where's their producer in all of this? Like, God, can she not tell that this is dog shit? I mean, do your job, Grayson. This is embarrassing.
Huh.
Yes.
And then she starts
I would agree with
talking
that.
about growing up without a father.
But the one thing I can't give you boys are the answers that you want the most. Because I can't give you something that I don't have. An explanation that I just don't know.
Like, again, this video was just terrible, right? Does she feel important sitting there? Is that what it is? Like, I can't understand it. Decades of Darkness says she feels important sitting there. I mean, clearly, clearly she does. Oh, thank you, random old lady. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much for buying 5 Dreadful Penny memberships. I appreciate that very much. I guess it does pay to remind people that those things are there. I'm just not very good at it. So, Katie White says, I blame the whole COVID lockdown for Lauren and John to be successful. Desperate times. I think that's really insightful, actually, Kathy. And also the Lori Vallow trial was just so mind-boggling. And they did, present themselves as having the inside scoop. And in some ways they did, right? They ingratiated themselves with family members. So, yeah. And we were all in a bit of a state of frenzied you know, coping. So yeah, I think that's a good insight. And it's interesting to me because now they have 347,000 subscribers and they only had 320 when all of this started. And then they lost a whole bunch and they went down to about 313. So literally, like, how have they gained 44,000 subscriptions? How has that happened, right? How has that happened? Thank you, BMD Nut X2. Thank you very much for the $1.99. Appreciate that so much. Love your no bullshit commentary. Thank you. I love it that people like to hear what I have to say. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate being able to say what I think and have people listen and agree with me. It's literally almost revolutionary in my life. Like, I have been one of those people that was surrounded all my life by people like this and was constantly shut down when I was right. So to have a community of people that listen to me and validate my feelings and my opinions is literally life-changing for me. So I don't take this community lightly. I very much appreciate each and every one of you.
I've never lost a son. I've never lost one of my brothers, a nephew, or a best friend.
You lost all of them now. They are incredibly boring, right? Beehives and homicides. I just love that name. Yeah, they are just. She's just the worst, Lauren. I mean, she was always a charisma black hole, but at least she could sort of pull together a kind of a pretty face sometimes. But now she's just gone so far with all of the Botox and the fillers and the filters and all of everything that she's turned freakish on us.
But I did grow up with a single mother, and I have lost my father. I do know what it's like to wonder, what if Dad could have watched me graduate college, walk me down the aisle, be there for the birth of one of you boys? If only Dad.
Oh, shut up, Corey. Nobody buys your nonsense. I am extremely glad to hear that you just left a community that tries to control you, just me. I have been there, and it is. Can we get back to Brad Pitt? Thank you, Garth. I think that's yes. I think we need to get back to Brad Pitt. Idaho Spud Girl, thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you so much for donating to the channel. I appreciate that. Thank you for covering this. Yeah. I feel like these people need to be told again because they didn't get enough the first time around, apparently. I mean, they are falling apart, but they have not yet fallen completely apart. And oh, hey, I also wanted to share with you guys. I'm just going to come over here for a second because these guys are boring. I didn't do it because I only just figured out today how to finally make sound bites. But the person who sent me the CR telephone calls with Trisha made a couple of sound bites for me. So I am going to share them with you now. So the first one is Trisha.
I am so not aware of what is going on.
And then the second one is Kathy Rhodes.
That's my nature.
That's my nature. I just loved her. So anyways, just wanted to share those. Yeah, so what are people saying over here? Random old lady. I stopped watching HTC when Jan called a case of molestation of relationship. I don't even remember the case, but I've never watched their channel again. Yeah, that's good, right? That's what it was for me too. It wasn't that, but it was the way that he attacked Olivia Gonsalves when she read her statement at the Koberger sentencing. It was literally that. I never went back. Yeah. Kenzie and Logan's mama says Lauren is a phony. In my opinion, she has a personality disorder. I would agree. The 9 Hour Live. Yeah. Wonder what she really looks like. We've only seen altered pics. Yeah, she's a real piece of work, I think. I'm thinking that's what Idaho Spud Girl is saying. I can't believe so many people have subscribed. Like, yeah, how is their star on the rise while they're, being exposed all over the internet as these complete liars and everything? I just assumed that they bought more subscribers. Like, It's the only thing that makes sense because they're not that good, right? They never were that good. I mean, and the thing, we are all vultures, says Dr. John is prescribing her Xanax, in my opinion. And now, like, I have no way of knowing whether that's true or not, but I can easily believe that based on her actions, her presentation, and based on the lack of integrity that both of them have shown us that they possess, right? That this is the kind of thing that they would get up to, that he would exploit his. Thank you, Beth Scott. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Thank you, Beth. She says, so happy to see your success. I oftentimes lurk. You go, girl. I was thinking of you today, Beth Scott. So just to say, you people are, you're not just a part of my life when I'm online here. I am genuinely, I am genuinely just loving this community so much. You guys have been a real balm to my soul. And again, I lost track of what I was saying, but you must be getting used to that now. I do it all the time. Right? I mean, there are a lot of dumb people around. I don't know. It's hard to know, right? I mean, look how many people voted for Trump. You know, I mean, that will forever be for me the moment that I realized that we were not in Kansas anymore. Right? The first time Trump got elected. And that my take or my understanding of the world we live in was altered on that day.
Dad, we're here. I do know what that's like. The lifetime of pain that brings. The sadness and the anger. I would never wish that upon anyone.
This part was interesting. I actually said this in the recap. We need Dr. John right now. This is a Dr. John question. Okay, keep going.
I actually said that in the recap. I actually said we need Dr. John because Dr. John has got all of the goods. Dr. John has got the psychology because I think there's some psychology going on here. Like,
Keep going. She brought up not having a father. Well, this is what I noted. She said, I can relate to you boys. I too grew up without a father. And what did I say? You remember I was like, oh, this is a Dr. John question. Like, I want to know if there's something psychological there, you know?
is there something psychological there? Yeah. So, Lover of Bad Puns says, aside from terrorizing Christina, the most repulsive thing to me was when Lauren said amen in court to the reading of Chad's prayer. And her response when asked about it on Mormon Stories was weird. She was bragging about it on Mormon Stories, in my opinion. I covered that whole 6-hour, whatever you might want to call that. And my feeling was that she was bragging about that. Like she was trying to imply that she was like put into a trance by his words. And it was so familiar to her from her own childhood that she was just like, she was, you know, like that she was unconscious, that she was hypnotized or something. And I think she was, I don't know what she was trying to convey exactly, except that she was somehow important. But to my mind, what she was actually conveying was that Chad had the power to hypnotize people with his words, and that he really was that powerful a guy. And it was literally the stupidest way to hand that guy a W instead of just condemning the shit out of him for the lies that he told in that patriarchal blessing, right? Like it was just the emptiest, most vapid way of addressing that most disgusting of manipulations of Chad Daybell's. And that's what these people are. This is all they have to offer you, right? Is like this gimmicky shit that is empty and void of any real understanding, any real concern for victims, any real they're not helping anybody with any of this. They're not providing any real insight, any real important knowledge that people can take away with them, that they can then apply to their own lives, that may at some point help to prevent something like this from happening, right? They are so obviously in it for themselves. And it is absolutely atrocious behavior. I mean, Lauren pretends that she's a journalist, but she did not go to journalism school. So, in terms of expecting her to have any ethics, I have lower expectations of that. But Dr. John, his professional ethics are non-existent, basically.
Because she's convicted of taking their father away from them.
So
But she never went to journalism school, right? She didn't do a degree in communications. She went, like, as I understand it, she went and did some acting classes so she could learn how to be in front of a camera, is literally it.
are you suggesting that she murdered her husband so that her kids wouldn't grow up with a father, as she did not grow up with a father?
I don't think she's thinking that, but I do think there's something to, because she didn't have a father.
See, I feel like he asked her that question to put her on the spot and make her look as stupid as she is, because she doesn't have an actual answer to that.
It was going to be okay for that to not have a father, and it makes her more comfortable.
Oh, but she fooled him.
Well, I think
She fooled him and me by having not a completely stupid answer. So well done, Lauren. I mean, I do like to give credit when it's due, and that was actually a complete thought. So good job.
she's trying to, I mean, so let's step back a little bit.
And I'm not a psychologist. That was really said poorly. Not comfortable, but yeah, talk to me. You're the expert here.
Well, let's step back. I think to understand.
Oh, I mean, I didn't realize Lauren wasn't a psychologist. She's so insightful. I just assumed, Blue River says, I don't pretend to be a journalist either. I'm just a wee lad on YouTube making YouTube poops. Exactly.
This more broadly, we have to step back and look at the whole speech.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Something I don't talk about a lot is what happens after we finish recording, because covering these cases, you don't just turn it off.
Shut
Screens, it can make more of a difference than.
There's some element of persuasion here because her children make pretty horrendous statements about her.
They do. Horrendous.
Right. And so part of this is trying to persuade her kids that she's not this monster that people are creating, making her out to be.
Yeah. And I think she does picture them, by the way, Googling one day and finding this statement. And they talked a lot about in the sentencing, the mail that she was writing them being returned. So I think she was also thinking, this is my last moment,
Well, she actually makes a plea.
Yeah.
She makes a plea to the family to give them the letters.
Yeah.
So
this is her moment to be able to talk to her kids.
right. And she says that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they're just literally not offering us anything. Like, yeah, we all watched it. Like, I mean, this is the level of Megan analyzing Chad Daybell's letters by reading them and summarizing them online. There's no, like, I don't need you to do that for me. I watched it myself. How? 132,000 views. It's literally, hi, Jem. Nice to see you. I'm glad you could get here. Thank you for the beautiful photo that you sent the other day. I really like that. Jem is a bit of an artist, you guys. Excuse me. Again, I've lost track. It's like I don't really care about what they're saying. I mean, I don't care at all. Megan and Chad's letters, it's so bad, right? Megan's analysis of anything is just absolutely god awful. But I was her. She does her. I guess when you leave the Mormon Church, you don't have to. Obviously, I mean, obviously they can't force you. But a lot of people write an exit letter or whatever to the church saying that they're formally resigning from the Mormon Church or whatever. And so Mormon Megan, ex-Mo Megan, read out her exit letter on her ex-Mormon Snark channel because she's completely self-important and everything is about her. But throughout the letter, the whole letter is her explaining to the Mormon Church why they're wrong. And the entire little speech, it's like about 10 minutes long, this letter, is footnoted, and she's got all kinds of sources and footnotes and links and stuff to explain to them, why they're wrong. So I thought that was interesting because that means that was evidence of the fact that she is aware of providing sources and providing backup to the things that she said. And yet that whole Pride Prop 8 episode that she did with Kirsten the other day was just disgusting for the fact that they didn't even know. Like, they started out by going, so yeah, Prop 8 started in, was it 2006, 2008, I think? Like, that was literally how they did their research. Like, they didn't even know what date it was. So I don't know if it's just laziness, like they just think that they're that good that they don't need to provide references or whatever, but my God, it's just the laziness of these people, and they have literally nothing to offer.
The peculiar part of this speech, though, what's strange about this speech is it's sort of like so if you look at each individual statement she's making, for example, always persevere. Like she's trying to provide these like cliched life lessons. Yes. It's like the self-help gibberish, right? Like,
so it's like walking through Hobby Lobby, or that was what something said. Yeah.
She's she's saying things like always persevere, never quit, don't settle for good, go for great, always exceed expectations, stick together, love each.
Oh God. Yes, we all watched it. Kathy White says, I'm waiting for Megan and Lauren to create a channel. Ouch. I mean, it would be ouch. We have seen them together. They are the weird sisters, and it's creepy AF. But I genuinely do not think that Lauren, I think that Lauren sees Megan as toxic, as like, not toxic to her personally in terms of being a toxic individual, but toxic to her brand, right? And that she doesn't want to touch her with a barge pole. Blue River. Hey, cracking me up over here. Okay. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm feeling very uninspired by this because they are so uninspired. It's hard to even respond to it because they're literally just telling us everything that we all saw with our own eyes.
Each other. Like, I could go on and on. Never give up.
I want to get to the part where they start projecting onto Corey all of their terrible behavior.
Up on your fight. Never give up on truth and justice. Right? Like, which I guess if you break down these little nuggets of wisdom, if we can call them that, I mean, it's like she apparently like went to a Tony Robbins seminar over the weekend or something and came back with this. But mm-hmm. If you look at those statements individually, there's some truth to them, right? They have some degree of some element of wisdom.
There's a reason why Tony Robbins would say that at their seminars. They're inspirational. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Rombo says, would Lauren want to risk it to get another channel with Megan that I think would flop big time? That would hurt LM real hard. Yeah, like I think that she is aware that Megan is radioactive, right? And would be absolutely radioactive to her brand to try to collaborate with her while Megan is just... She's up here on the YouTubes blaming us all for her failure to thrive, right? Failure to launch. Well, she launched, but then Lori went to jail and it was all over.
The reason why people forward them in emails, they're inspiring. Yes. Persevere. You lose 100% of the shots you don't take.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. It's that kind of a talk.
Yes.
Right. Which if she had just focused on a few of those and kind of went into some depth, maybe that would have been interesting. Right. But she strings together.
Megan and Trisha are Lover of Bad Pun says Lauren has distance from both Megan and Trisha and Megan are clinging on to each other for dear life. They're gross.
Together so many of these cliches, so much of this self-help gibberish that at some point it all becomes meaningless. Right. And so to me, it kind of has this sense of being just really trite and really kind of over the top silly.
Yeah, like you guys. Rombo says, see Megan on Web Sleuths, 1 to 2K views. I was talking at the beginning of this, I was showing that, so I responded to her Pride episode on X Moments and Arc the other day. that was absolute garbage exploitation of the LGBTQ community. And I was comparing the fact that they got 500 views for their video versus I got 2.3 thousand views on my video saying that their video was crap. And I wasn't bragging about like I'm so much better than them, but saying that people are watching these videos and it is having an effect on them. It's working. So we have to keep up the good work, right? We have to keep up the good work. 4 times as many people watched me saying this woman is a grifting exploiter of, you know, minorities and whoever, crime victims, whoever else she can exploit, versus 500 people watching her bullshit. So I think that says something, and it's down to the entire community, right? So just to say, keep up the good work, people.
Because she's saying everything and nothing at the same time.
There's so much of it, it kind of drowns it out.
Yeah. And she's trying to convey this wisdom to her kids, but it's just, it's just so, as I said, it's because there's so much of this. And again, that's not to say that parts of that aren't true, but there's so much of it that it just loses all meaning, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like, it's almost like if you hired like the absolute, like think of the person that you dislike the most on this planet, or like somebody that you feel like has no wisdom whatsoever.
Can you guys think of anybody? You think of anybody? Anybody at all? Okay. I'm imagining someone.
And you hired them to give a commencement speech, right? Like graduation's upon us, right? Think about
Commencement speech,
if Corey Richards was giving like a commencement speech for her high school, this is what it would sound like.
Or junior high.
Or junior, right, or junior high. And so I think that's interesting in a way. I guess she's trying to be.
God, like none of this is interesting. It's literally, I can barely make myself listen to it. I listened to it once through, so I knew what I was, you know, kind of knew a little bit about what I was going to talk about. But I listen while I'm out walking my dog or doing other things, right? I can't just sit and watch these two. It's like poisoning yourself, literally.
Play the role of the wise mother offering life advice to her kids because she's never going to see them.
I think so. That's where I had a little bit of understanding. I'm like, hey, they're going to Google one day. They're going to find this. This is her moment, right?
This is where Lauren had a little bit of understanding. This is where Lauren figured something out. Every once in a while, right? She finds the square hole and the square peg. It happens. It's like the broken clock.
Right.
Good boy.
But here's where this breaks down. Here's where this collapses. You have this tremendous disparity between what she's saying and what she did.
Yeah.
You have this disparity between what she's saying and who she is.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Right? This is the part where they're going to start projecting everything that they do onto Corey. They're talking literally about themselves, but they think they're talking about Corey.
you can't, if you're going to give a speech about, I guess she did persevere, right? I'll give her that. Like,
she got her MBA behind bars.
well, I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking about
Yes, Lauren's little interjections are always so welcome. Yeah, Apples has got his he's over there with his chew stick. He's extremely happy at the moment. He's in his zen place with a bully stick.
persevering in the sense that she was hell bent on getting fentanyl.
Okay,
and she was gonna one way or the other, she was gonna find a way to get that
Okay,
poison
sorry.
sandwich in front of them.
I didn't
But-
understand where you're going.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just thinking of Corey now. You know, she's in behind bars and she's
The thing that's weird to me about this is like, yeah, she said, I mean, it was a stupid comment, which is Lauren, but also like, so what? Like, let it go, right? Like, just move on. And the reason that she's not letting it go is because I know for a fact that this dude shames her and thinks that she's dumb, and he shames her for it. I've seen him do it. We're going to see more of it.
she's still persevering.
Well, no, you got to give it to her. She never quit until Eric was murdered. Like, you got to say that.
That
Like,
was the whole point of the
but
sentence.
but think
She
about
failed
the
on Valentine's Day, and then she kept persevering. She doesn't give up.
right. But think about the absurdity of that.
You lose 100% of the shots. You don't take. Sorry, keep going.
For how many poison sandwiches?
Again, right? Like, this is the HTC brand. We're bringing the levity here. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Look at that. Look at that pause game, you guys. Come on. That's amazing. Oh my goodness, Helen Johnson. Thank you so much. There's a light in the tunnel. Choo choo train. Helen's waiting for the train. You're in Sweden, is that correct? And this is apparently the colors of the railway workers. Thank you very much, Helen. That's very generous. I don't remember what I was saying because I got stuck on Lauren's ridiculous face. So I'm just going to carry on again. Sorry, my brain is not into this because they're just so boring, I guess. I can't remember a single thing. Well, she's laughing hilariously. Oh, I remember. Yes, I was saying they're joking about you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Which that might be a funny little joke to tell, when you're just joking around at your table together, but to put that out on your podcast where you are so famously victim centered, not realizing that that is not funny. How do you think that Katie and Amy would respond to that little joke? It's sickening to me. And they're in hilarity here over it.
How much does it take?
Yeah, we don't know actually. We just know of one, the one she was convicted of on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, right.
But,
There could have been many more that
Yeah.
never made it into the lunch
Right.
pail.
and then when it worked, she
Oh.
was behind bars. She's like, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get my MBA. That's where I was. Sorry, go ahead.
Spit and Spooch Solve says, I think Lauren body shames John. This actual video starts with an outtake, I guess, from the thing. And Lauren's going, what? And she's looking over at Grayson. And she's like, what, Lauren? Grayson made a joke? We look like who? SpongeBob and Patrick? And the implication was obviously that John is Patrick because he's fat, right? And Lauren thought this was funny. And why did they leave? It's just so cringe and awkward and nasty that it's hard to even conceive that these two are even pretending that they love each other, what it must be like to be in that house. And not only did they leave it in, they framed the entire video by starting with this joke, and you can see he looks really uncomfortable and she is kind of pushing it, even though it's very awkward. It's just they're absolutely toxic together. They're toxic separately. They're toxic to each other. Can you imagine? I would love to be a fly on the wall in that house because I would not want to ever have to engage with these people in any way. But my God, I literally could go out and write a sociology thesis about these two and get a PhD.
No.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm not going to address the MBA thing, but
That's more about, I guess that's more of
what is she going to
make lemonade out of lemons, sort of.
What's she going to do? People's taxes from prison? Is that what her goal?
Yeah, so she made lemonade.
What's she going to do? Is she going to give investment advice from?
She thought she was going to be found not guilty, John. Have you got a single brain cell you could rub together for us in there to have an actual thought? She obviously thought she was going to get out and that her MBA was going to help her along in her house flipping business. Why am I having to explain this to a PhD?
In prison? I don't
know.
Anyway.
Just so you know, John, I don't think you know this. She did make a fake gay dating site for the lead investigator.
Yeah, we learned that little tidbit. She made a fake dating site for the lead investigator.
Obviously, they didn't make a whole site for him. They must have made an account. But why would Grayson jump in with that? Ugh.
A gay dating site. I don't think he's gay, but I think she was like, I'm going to mess with this detective. And
so do you put?
Oh my God! Again, ugh. They're never going to mention, right? So first thing she's going to do is go, well, I don't think he's gay. There's something wrong with being gay. It's a huge insult to be, to have somebody smear you as gay. No mention of the fact that Corey's, that behavior is not only underhanded and sneaky in terms of trying to undermine the lead detective, it's also homophobic and disgusting behavior But instead, they just get in on the homophobic, disgusting behavior and go tee about how I don't really think he's gay. I mean, I'm not saying that. Like, what if he was gay? Like, who? Like, they got nothing for us, people.
Put that in the always persevere column.
I put that in.
You put that in the never give up on your fight. Like, where did that?
Well, you're the psychologist. You tell us.
Well, I'm just trying to point out the disparity between this.
See the defensiveness, right? She's like, I don't know. She doesn't want to be put on the spot, so she has to turn it. Like, it's just there's no collaboration going on between these two. It's like watching Megan and Lauren. They don't play off of each other. They don't two people coming together make something bigger, make something greater. Not at all. Lauren is so afraid of looking stupid that she's reactive and crazy. And he's just, I mean, he's so boring. He's not said one thing of value since this started. Not one.
This idea of never giving up on goals that are positive and pro-social and never giving up on murdering your husband.
Right. No, I was doing the pro-social ones. You were doing the.
No, but you're I'm pointing out the juxtaposition.
I know.
The absurdity of saying you're one thing and you're not.
And he's getting mad, right? They have zero chemistry. Exactly. He's getting mad instead of just whatever. Like, I mean, how is getting mad and annoyed with her good content? It's appalling that this is the content that they have, and they have 347,000 followers. There is no way that's organic. I cannot believe it.
Struggled with throughout the entire sentencing. I kept saying there is no Venn diagram here. It's either she's a monster or she's a saint. But there was no like, and I realize that people are complicated, but like you think some.
Well, she made that argument too. She kept saying, "I'm not perfect." I mean, she makes that. Every argument. If you she, I don't know, maybe she was.
And again, like they haven't even got, like they can't even get themselves in front of the camera properly, so that like half of his shoulder is out of the shot. Like it just is. This is just the laziest bullshit. Yeah, and they're getting pissy. Exactly. And they don't even, like, this is an edited video. Yes, Kenzie's, that's a great insight. Yes, it's stressful to watch them because they have so many intense interpersonal problems. It's oozing off of them, right? It's really stressful. It's weirdly like boring and stressful at the same time, right? It's kind of unique. This is the first video of theirs that I have watched since I never watched Lauren's 9-hour live except through other creators. I watched John's 4-hour thing, and the last video before that was the Koberger video, the Koberger sentencing.
Watching like an Oprah Fest weekend or something too. But I mean, she hits on every one of these. Like, hey kids, no secrets. And then she's harboring all these secrets.
Thank you. I know.
Right? She's like, she says
the affair. She brings up the affair. Don't cheat on your husband or wife, Yeah. Don't cheat on your spouse, she says.
Right. She says their love as a family never failed. Well, obviously it did fail. She murdered her husband. Like, if you want a family to fall apart, go murder your spouse.
Well, how about this too? She does admit to the boys that she fell in love with someone else,
right,
and had an affair.
Yeah,
so that alone, she's admitting, yeah, I'm guilty of that, but our love never failed. Yes, it did.
Right, exactly.
Just right there. Even if you try to claim you didn't.
Garth says John giggles like a 12-year-old child when he hears the word gay. Yeah. They both giggle like idiots, like homophobic idiots. I missed posting this up. So Carmel Hughes Parolia, nice to see you. Thank you so much for the $23.99. I appreciate you very much. That's very generous. Sorry, I was talking when it came through and I missed it at the time. This is deep psychological insight, y'all. Yeah, right? Over a bad puns. Like, I could have done a better response video to Corey Richins' speech, but I wouldn't even bother because they're like, it was all really obvious, right? I mean, what is there to say about it except that it was an attempt at manipulating her children into thinking that she didn't murder their father?
Didn't murder him. It did. and you're not acknowledging that.
So psychologists call it incongruence. If I'm working with someone,
Dude, everybody calls it incongruence. Are you? Psychologists call it incongruence because we are extremely special and nobody else is allowed to use the word incongruent. These guys are incongruent. Who they pretend to be and who they really are is incongruent. In case anybody needed an explanation of what incongruence is, he's about to give you another boring one, but fuck's sake.
in the room, let's say I'm working with someone in a clinical capacity or even a forensic capacity, and the person is
Yeah, we would have to pretend because you're not actually doing that, are you? So we're just going to pretend that he's doing that.
saying one thing, but doing another. That's incongruent. So if the person's talking about, for example, let's say the person's talking about how sad they are that they lost their spouse and they're there to grieve, right? They're saying how much they're grieving, and yet they're not experiencing any sadness. They're not showing any sadness. That's incongruent.
Right.
Or if let's say that they're talking about sadness, but they're laughing.
It's hard to say, Lucia says, who's going to throw the first punch? It's hard to say. I mean, I was going to say Lauren because she is so unstable. But at the same time, John has had to put up with their entire thing turning into this because of her inability to behave in such a way that she didn't get found out as a backstabbing, lying, manipulating, vicious shrew. So it's hard to say, right? I mean, there's a lot of anger on both sides. I think I would like to see John throw the first punch. It's not a threat, but a cage match between these two. I think now that would be entertaining. That I would pay money for.
That might be anxiety.
I was gonna say that
It could be anxiety. It could be anxiety, but it's also incongruent, right? It's showing that they lack a certain amount of self-awareness. They lack some capacity for self-reflection to see their behavior, to see that what
they're talking about Corey Richens and literally describing themselves. Unbelievable. And they think they've got any credibility coming out here saying that after the way they've behaved. It's shocking.
what they're saying match to what they're doing, right? That's psychologists would see that as being integration.
Well, it's the whole actions speak louder than words. My mama taught me that. Did Corey mention that to her boys? That's another one.
So now she's going to go on here and call her my mama, her mother, my mama, a whole bunch of times, as though somehow she is a Southerner now. Not sure what that affectation's all about, but it makes me want to poke her in the eye hard with a stick.
One too.
I bet your mama never gave a speech like this.
She told me to remember who I was. Remember who you are.
Did she tell the family to stick together?
No, she told me the Holy Ghost went to bed at midnight. Be home. No. But
Again, like, is this supposed to be charming banter? You're talking about the sentencing of a woman for murdering her husband and her 3 sons' kids, and you're like over here giggling like stupid idiots over things that are not funny or relevant. So yeah, way to be victim-centered, guys. Good job.
Wait, the Holy Ghost had a curfew?
according to my mama.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, okay.
No, but no, I actually don't think she's ever told me that. But somebody else's mother told me that, and I always thought it was funny. But my point is, actions speak louder than words. Did she say that to her son?
I didn't write that on my notes, by the way, that actions speak louder than words. But yeah, it's a good point. The point is that there's incongruence.
Everybody's got their different versions. Summer says, ugh, just jumped on. What's up with the fruit salad thing? Yeah, I mean, somebody else was calling them SpongeBob and Patrick. I think that was Grayson. And somebody else was saying, Helen, who is from Sweden, was saying these are the colors that her son wears. He works on the railroad, and these are the colors that he wears. So also fruit salad. So yes, what's with it? It's hard to say. This is the most cringe video I have seen of theirs in some time. It is something else.
Incongruence here, right? The incongruence shows that this is someone who's not only living in denial, not only does she have her It's like the monkey, one of the monkey, the see no evil. Not only does she have her
Oh yeah, right. Remember that? Remember that? They look like Picasso threw up. See, everybody's got a different opinion about what this outfit is all about.
hands over her eyes and her ears and her mouth, but she's incapable of seeing that. She's living in this fiction. She's living in this fantasy world that she's created.
He's describing his wife, right? Just keep in mind, all of this is projection.
And yet she's acting like she's not.
Yeah.
Here's something else she said. She's telling her boys this. I did not abandon you. I will never ever leave you boys. Well, then then why did you commit murder?
Well, she's saying she didn't commit murder.
Well,
I'm kind of pushing.
Oh God. Oh my God. They're so cringe. Like, how is this funny? It's not funny. If you're gonna have an actual intelligent car, look at his face. Like, he looks like he wants to slap her, and she looks like she's afraid he's gonna slap her a little bit. But kind of like that she thinks that she's cheeky and funny and maybe she'll get away with it. Gallstones, another good one. Hey, wait, what happened? There we go. Hang on, sorry. Gallstones. Yeah. Pineapple and cantaloupe out of the fridge. I'll wait now. Good thinking. You don't want to sick it up while you're watching these two. Yeah, he is constantly putting her down. I mean, she's an idiot. But, my first impression of these two, the first time I watched them, was that he was abusive and she was like, in a coercive control relationship because of the way that she was so almost like this with him, right? I am so smart. SMRT. Yeah. Yeah, how did they get an extra 44,000 subscribers?
I'm like, I agree. With
right.
you.
No, I'm just, yeah, I'm obviously presuming that the jury got this right.
Yeah, I presume it too.
Yeah, he's pissed, right? He is pissed because he's trying to talk about how she's saying all these things as though she's innocent, but she murdered her husband. And Lauren jumps in with, but she thinks she's innocent, and he's mad now. Like, he is mad. Like, I am going at this from the point of view of she has been convicted. Like, I guess he's not all about the levity anymore. Interesting.
After looking at the evidence, right? Like,
Correct.
I'm
Her
going.
defense attorneys made it clear they don't.
Right. Yeah.
But it's interesting. But yeah.
Helen says, I'm sorry, Penny in chat, but it's time for au revoir from me. I'm happy to see all of you, and good job, Penny. And I have a bit of a fever, so I need some sleep. Well, have a good sleep, Helen. Thank you so much for your generous donation. And it's always a pleasure to have you here. You're always fun in the chat. So I hope you get a good sleep and you feel better tomorrow.
No, you're right. You're assuming right. And so you're seeing this in her now.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. I shouldn't have said that, right? Like, it's hard to say who abuses who in this relationship.
And I mean, and there's more. Like, she kept saying, one of the things she kept saying during her speech was, I'm sure you remember this refrain. She kept saying, "Be like your dad," right? She'd give a little tidbit of wisdom, like, never give up. Be like your dad, right? Like, always love your brothers. Be like your dad.
Help when others are in need. Serve your community. Be like your dad. So you love and miss the most.
I mean, I don't mean this to be negative, but like the irony. Like, be like your dad.
What do you mean you don't mean it to be negative? She's a murderer. What the hell are you talking about, John? God, he's so dumb. Right. The reason Corey did these things is because she thought she was smart and would get away with it, despite all evidence to the contrary. Literally, the comments in the chat here are more insightful and on point than anything that these two idiots have had to say. It is just absolutely shocking to me what empty vessels they are, the pair of them. And I wanted to comment on that because I think that's very typical, right? Hannah Dockrell says, I always thought that her calling him Dr. Babe was a shady way to point out the very obvious fact that he is not, in fact, socially attractive. And I think that's actually a really good insight. I mean, obviously, I'm not in Lauren's head, and I can't say if that's what she's doing. But it is a very typical kind of manipulation with these people, right? To to give with one hand and take away with the other? Will they say something like the kind of thing like, "Oh my God, I love your dress. Didn't they have one in your size?" Something like that, right? "Oh, you got to meet my friend Becky. She's so great. I mean, she has no boundaries, but she's great." Right? That way of giving with one hand and taking away with the other. And you could very well be right, because he is clearly not a babe. I mean, unless we're thinking babe pig in the city, which is, that's a whole other thing. Maybe that's what she's trying to imply.
Who I murdered,
Mhm.
cheated on,
Mhm.
disrespected, lied to, right? Like,
So why is he shouting at Lauren instead of talking into the camera, right? It's so off-putting.
It was shocking.
Yeah.
And then she also blamed him though, too, for things.
Yeah.
She'd be like, yeah, I cheated on him, but
he cheated too.
but be like him. So what is it?
Right.
That's really deep, Lauren. So which one is it, Corey? Which one is it? Like, that's, again. And she's looking at him for approval, right? All of this it feels to me like everything that's going on here is about these two and has nothing whatever to do with Corey Richens. It's wild to watch the relationship dynamic spilling out to the point that it is absolutely obliterating the other commentary, right? It's wild.
It's the contradictions. I think that's what
I notice those things too. I'm like, what is it? Are you taking responsibility or are you victim blaming? Are you then going to shame and blame the victim and then tell your kids to be just like him, even though you're saying that he did A, B, C?
Yeah, Lauren, we figured that out, but thanks for explaining it in painstakingly boring detail. Appreciate that.
D?
Yes, Summer. I also really enjoy what you have to say. This normal Idaho mom says, "Hi, Summer. I really enjoy what you have to say." I mean, literally compared with what Megan has to say, listening to Summer is like enjoying a summer's day, as opposed to enjoying, a sleet storm when you left your boots at home.
It was very confusing. I agree.
right.
It's not that
It was a bundle.
confusing, Lord. It was very confusing. I agree. I was very confused. Were you? You were very confused by Corey Richens? Like, I mean, I personally would not admit that, even if it was true, because Corey Richens got the best of you, Lauren?
Of contradictions through and through.
Yes,
If you give that commencement speech, you probably want to give it in a way that's consistent
correct.
and congruent and integrated. And hopefully, if you're lucky, it's consistent with who you are.
Dude, she's in prison for murdering their father. How is she going to give a congruent speech with who she is? He's going to go on here, literally, I remember it now. He's going to go on to explain that if she had just owned up and admitted what she did, that would be the beginning of repairing her relationship with her sons. I have literally spoken those exact words about Lauren.
And what you believe
Yes.
and what you've done,
Yes.
your actions, and she's incapable of doing that. So I think that was the most interesting component of this
Who's
speech, was just how
incapable?
disconnected.
Sorry, who's incapable of doing that, Dr. John? Dr. 5 counts at 10 years apiece? Dr. Babe John put an innocent mother of 4 in prison for 25 years, 50 years, whatever, to avoid being exposed as the fraud that you are?
Connected from reality it was, how much she's immersed in this fantasy world.
Summer says, Penny, do you think John and Lauren will own up to anything they've done? No, I think that ship sailed a long time ago. I don't think they're capable of it. It's like Megan. These people are not capable of it. They're whatever is driving John, narcissism, whatever it is, Lauren, narcissism, borderline personality, their defense structures that are built up when you're very young And it's a defense mechanism, and it's an operating system. And I don't see it. Like, the best that you can ever get for people like this is to just drive them out of society, like to expose them so thoroughly that nobody will ever fall for them again, because I don't think they're capable of it, right? For them to own up to what they did would be so shattering to their image of who they are, right? I just don't think that either one of them could cope with it. They're obviously fragile egos, both of them, right? I don't see them ever changing. I don't see Megan ever changing. I don't see Trisha ever changing. I think the best that we have got with these people is to get them out of here, not that we're going to ever get them to admit what they did.
Yeah.
That she can't exit, and how she's throwing out all these little life lesson cliches that she does.
It's projection, right? It is absolute projection, all of it. They are literally describing themselves. That's part of the reason why I'm sharing this video, because it's such clear projection, right? You can't miss it.
That she thinks apply to her, and that she thinks she can impart to her kids, this wisdom she can impart to her kids.
Autumn McBaum says, wait, I missed the innocent mother in prison story. So Christina, they pretended that Christina was a stalker, and they were hoping to get her arrested for 5 charges of breaking the stalking injunction that they made up. And she would have ended up in prison if what they wanted happened. She would have ended up in prison. And she never stalked them. She never did anything. And she's a mother of 4.
But she can't, because she has no moral authority. She has no capacity to impart this wisdom because it's not who she is.
Right? It's pure projection. He has no moral authority. Neither of these people do. Look at Lauren's face, right? She has no moral authority. Neither one of these people do.
Yeah, exactly. Whether she wants to argue this conviction or not, she's simply showing that she's not anything she's saying.
Right, exactly.
Right? Lauren has shown us she's not anything she has claimed to be. And the fact that they are out here doing this and they aren't aware of the fact that they are projecting everything that they did is wild, right? That's the power of projection.
What she did, I mean, I guess from her perspective, like, in fairness to her, I guess from her perspective, she didn't commit the murder. So, like, she clearly is implying that she says, your dad, talking to her kids again, your dad was in lots of pain, implying obviously that he took his own life. That's her theory here. And by the way, that's the theory of her brother, who I know you wanted to talk about briefly.
Oh God, Lauren wanted to talk about her brother. I think Christina got it worse than I did. Summer says, well, I mean, Christina certainly got, she was certainly targeted very, very plainly. She did drive-by attacks on you, right? In group chats and in secret and in hiding. With Christina, they did it out in public. So I wouldn't want to guess which one of you was more harmed by these assholes.
Oh, I just wanted your opinion on her tears during her brother. I actually thought her brother's speech was really sweet. But going back to what you just said, give her, let's say from Corey's mindset, talking to her boys, she didn't do it. So let's give her the floor for a second. Okay, I don't believe it. I believe the jury got it right. So, but even then, nothing's consistent. That's what I guess I'm trying to push for.
Oh God! So we're gonna do a thought experiment, I guess. These guys love thought experiments. Hashtag that's not a thought experiment. Yeah, I mean, part of the reason I'm doing this is because of their shit behavior again this year at CrimeCon, right?
For is, even if we go with her fantasy that she's innocent, still nothing makes sense in this. It's still all a contradiction. Blaming and shaming their father and then saying, be like him.
Right.
And then saying, our love never failed in the family when you cheated on him.
Right. It's
still, even if you're like, okay, let's give Corey her fantasy for just a second. Let's give Corey her 38-minute fantasy. And she's talking to her boys. Even then, it's a contradiction.
Right. There's the infidelity. There's the disrespect. There's all these elements that I agree that are still.
There's the lying and the hiding and the projecting and the blame shifting and the weaponizing of the police and the weaponizing of the court system and the weaponizing of CrimeCon and the weaponizing of security and the weaponizing of your platform against someone with zero voice on the platform. Yes, John
So
is a
contradictory
weirdo.
in terms of if you want to give the Tony Robbins speech, you should probably be a little more integrated.
Oh, shut up. My God. He's going to talk about being integrated while he's sitting next to this idiot here who is practicing her parted lip, Bambi innocent look in front of us while we watch.
Correct.
Or a little more consistent with
Who you are.
Your speech should be consistent with your values at the very least.
Right. And if you're getting an MBA behind bars, hold off on setting up the fake dating websites for the lead detective. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
Garth Davis is saying the world is a better place now that John Mathias does not do clinical work. Can you imagine him as your therapist? I don't know if you saw it, but I did a video where I responded to his bio on his old website for his practice. And he tells stories about his clients. And he's, he obviously, I assume that he was using fake names or whatever. But the details that he was sharing of someone who self-harmed themselves to death was absolutely appalling exploitation. And even if he hid the guy's name, if I was his family, I would have wanted his license. So no, I cannot imagine being a client of his. The man has no boundaries.
I don't know,
What was the purpose of that?
I think to smear him, she forgets that, you can
To smear him so that he would be less effective? To smear him so that he would stop investigating?
I think
To smear
make
him so he
less
lost
credible.
credibility? Oh, less credibility, yeah.
Well, that's what I speculate. We didn't really get into it.
Yeah.
I'd love to know. They threw that one out, Yes, I wanted to talk about her brother's statement. I also still want to talk about, we skipped right over it, a little teaser about the whole, I don't have a dad. So you guys don't have a dad either. I know I can relate to you guys. Can we talk about that first? Or do you want to talk about?
Well, I think, right, again, putting aside
She gets out there and she's like, oh, she's all assertive. This is what I want to do. And then she pulls back. If that's okay. Is that okay? If that's what you want, right? The dynamics between them is more interesting than anything they have to say.
absolute lack of self-awareness that she murdered their father and therefore that they don't have a dad because of her.
Yeah.
Let's put that aside for a minute. I think she's trying to normalize it.
Yeah.
I think she's trying to say, look, I grew up without a dad. You guys are going to be just fine. Even though the kids, by the way, every one of their speeches talked about how much they missed their father.
Right.
Every one of them said they wish they had their father back. They loved their father. They missed him. He was a salient part of their lives.
The sentencing memorandum was released how they mentioned wearing his clothes to school so they could feel close to him in the sentencing memorandum.
Oh, see, Lauren has sad feelings for the sons, but she was just making jokes about how you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, about the attempts to murder their father. So, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah.
So, but I think she's trying to minimize it. I think she's trying to normalize it. I think she's trying to rationalize it, right? They're not comparable. She's trying to make them comparable. And again, it's everything.
Oh, shut up, John. God. Lover of Bad Puns has something interesting to say. Lover of Bad Puns says this is as deep as a paper cut and just as painful. But yeah. God, that just reminded me. When I was going to heavy duty mechanic school, I was the trade representative on the student council. And we went away for a weekend retreat to, learn how to be good student council people. And one of the guys that was on the trip with us had a paper cut on his eyeball. Somebody had turned around to hand him a paper and it just sliced right across his eyeball. And I have literally never seen anyone in so much just like existential pain. It was one of the worst experiences of my life just watching him. It was so awful.
And we just talked about it's that inability to see the difference, the incongruence between those two things.
Mhm.
Her father wasn't murdered.
Yeah, but he made the choice to leave her. That's the difference.
Right.
He made a choice to leave Corey. Right. He died in a crash when he was older. But right, she took their father away. Big difference.
Like, I mean, I don't know what they think is there exactly. Lauren thinks that she's on to some psychology with the fact that Corey mentioned that she lost her father as well.
Yeah. So right. So they're not compatible. And just the fact that, again, in this fantasy world she somehow thinks that because she
Speaking of not compatible, yikes.
endured a similar scenario, even though her father was alive for a big chunk of her childhood, right?
She can relate to them.
She can relate, and somehow they can comparably endure.
It's almost like Tanner Horner, who was just convicted to death in the kidnapping and murder of Athena Strand, writing in his apology letter, I know how you guys feel because I can't see my son anymore. No, you don't. You took Athena's life.
Right.
And this is your consequence. It's sort of like her saying, oh.
Again, right? It's just very hard to take anything from these people when they're talking about people getting the consequences that they deserve and trying to weasel out of those consequences. It's incredibly hard to listen to them when they are carrying on in the face of all of the consequences that they should be experiencing.
Oh, I can relate to you too, because I know what it's like to grow up without a father. No, your father left and was alive. These children have had to endure the murder of their father by someone that should have protected them.
Right, exactly.
Right. So you can't, again, just sort of trying to relate to them and not being.
Garth David says, Penny, I think that Lauren wrote those bios for John's website. It's very possible that she did. But he okayed them, if that's the case. So that memoir of his was absolute dog shit. It was so bad.
Able to connect or see things from their view still.
Right. She right. It's again, yeah, she's covering her eyes, covering her ears. She doesn't want to deal with the reality. She doesn't want to deal with the truth of the situation, clearly.
Right. Which is why Lauren is like fucked up off her face on alcohol and pills all the time, right? Because she doesn't want to face the reality of what she did.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, this is another one of those attempts to somehow normalize the situation or minimize it so that they're equal or comparable, and they're clearly not.
Yeah. Interesting. She didn't cry during her son's. Oh, I'm curious about your opinions on all of her reactions. She did not cry during her son's statements given by therapists. She was in tears when her brother spoke. So that is what I wanted to talk to you about. It wasn't as much as what he said. He was kind to her, talked about memories, about her little boys waking him up on Christmas morning. She was, I think the emotions were very real coming from her. What did you think when she cried during that moment?
Again, like, I don't care what John thinks, and I think it's really obvious that she was crying because her brother believes her, and she was in the presence of someone who believes her, and she has been dealing with the fact that nobody believes her lies, right? And her brother is a safe space for her. I don't think any of this is super complicated or psychologically difficult to understand. The fact that Lauren can't parse the simplest things is just more evidence of the fact that she has no business reporting on this stuff if she can't even understand the simplest human interactions.
I think the reason she cried is because her brother was the only one during sentencing who believes her narrative.
Right? I mean, what other reason could there be? Anyway, I have to hit the ladies' room so you guys can enjoy these guys for a few minutes without me.
Her brother buys into this fiction. Her brother said that she didn't do it. She knows that. So her brother was the only one during sentencing who's supportive of her.
Hmm.
So I think that because of that, I think there's more of an emotional connection to her brother. I mean, of course, it's her brother. She grew up with him. She was remembering some of these stories he was telling. But I think there's this element of support there that she's not getting anywhere else.
Yeah.
Part of her plea during her speech was, people are complex, right? I'm not this monster. I'm being dehumanized. And there's an element of truth to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's of course, it's all, she says this too, it's contextual to some degree, but certainly people were, she's not all bad. I talk about this with criminals I evaluate. You know this, that I'll go to the jail or the prison, and oftentimes a big part of my job is to try to connect to these people, try to connect to criminals, try to connect, to try to have empathy for them. Otherwise, I can't give a reasonably fair evaluation.
And I will say you do have empathy for them. You always actually walk in, I say after his evaluation, he says, man, they had a hard life. It works. Then you write the report and you get a little bit angrier.
Right, well, I start getting some distance.
You get some distance. So yeah, not even try. You find it. So anyway.
But there again, there's an element of, I think there's some accuracy to this notion that she has been dehumanized to some degree. Mm-hmm. She has been vilified. I mean,
most criminals are, especially if they're high profile.
Exactly. I mean, what she did was horrendous. Mm-hmm. We're not going to celebrate that, clearly. And also, I think one of the reasons she's been dehumanized is because she's in such denial, right? You see it here. She makes it easy.
Okay, I don't think she was either vilified or dehumanized. I think that she was read for the filth that she is. Like, the fact that she might have some, some good qualities does not mitigate what she did. And the fact that these two are over here going, oh my God, she's so, yeah, sorry, you guys. Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom and then I had to go outside and have a quick, because I can't smoke in here in my sister's beautiful place. Yeah, I just don't think anybody dehumanized her. I think that Corey was given a fair trial. There was many, many millions of dollars spent on that. And she is where she belongs. So, yeah, I mean, I can feel compassion for the child, Lauren, who was abused in such a way that she turned out like this. Absolutely. But I don't think that calling her out for the piece of garbage that she is dehumanizing her. I think that Dr. John is completely off the mark here. And again, it's evidence to me that these guys are not victim-centered and that they actually don't have any insight.
Easy
to be dehumanized.
She makes it easy to become a target when you're divorced from reality.
I actually thought her defense did a fairly good job, and I felt her statement made it worse.
Her defense did not do a good job. What are you even talking about, Lord? Oh, God.
I was actually compelled by her defense attorney's statements by saying that we need to humanize the justice system and there should be redemption and people can be rehabilitated.
Do you think that's because she's hoping to be rehabilitated? Because Corey is not being rehabilitated. I mean, wasn't she in there with Megan talking about how great it was that Lori was never going to get out of prison because she was never rehabilitatable? Like, what the fuck makes you think that anything is going to change Corey into a better person that wouldn't go out and do the exact same thing again? This is the stupidest. This is some of the stupidest shit I've seen either of these two ever say, honestly.
And she's complex and she's more than the worst thing she ever did, even though they said that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's that's a nice little pithy saying about we're more than the worst thing that we ever did in our life. I mean, the worst thing I ever did in my life, honestly, was like kiss my friend's boyfriend when I was 15, right? Like the worst thing I ever did in my life, or, things like that, right? Like that saying does not extend to what's his name? Any of them. Rex Huerman, for instance, who was sentenced today. He's more than just the worst thing he ever did in his life. He was a font of knowledge about city code. So we have to remember that when we think about Rex Huerman. Like, this is the performative shit, right? This is when she thinks that this is the right thing to say. It reminds me of Megan, where Megan's like, being all understanding about Emma Daybell instead of reading her for the filth that she is. Right? It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's revealing. It's obnoxious. It is not victim-centered. Corey is not the victim here.
They didn't believe she did it.
To
I
humanize,
thought they like gave, so go ahead.
yeah, but to humanize, to make someone humanized to humanize them doesn't mean to acquit.
Correct.
It just means to.
He's always looking at her like he thinks she's stupid. It actually reminds me a little bit of the way that Megan talks to us. Like, we're too stupid to figure out the most basic things in the world.
See them as more than a absolute total villainous monster.
Correct.
With fangs and claws, right? I mean,
And they brought up, how we need the justice system should be about bringing more humanity to the prison system.
It's not the prison system, though. That's a whole other conversation, Lauren. You absolute ninny. Yeah, right? Ted Bundy was just misunderstood, lover of bad puns. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a real shame. I mean, it's like right up there with Trump and his admiration for what's his thing with the mask, Why can't I remember? Silence of the Lambs guy. Right? Yeah. Fascinating. Great.
I could get behind that. I do get behind that. But you're right. When she went up and started talking to me, you're right. It did not do her any favor. So you're right. She's not helping the situation.
Yeah, she makes herself an easy target by engaging in these contradictions, by getting up there and.
Dude, she murdered her husband. Engaging in contradictions is not what makes her a target. Hannibal Lecter, thank you very much, this normal Idaho mom. My brain is just too full. Stuff is leaking out like rather quickly.
And saying things that are completely incongruent with her behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you want to humanize Corey Witchen, give me a Corey Witchen that's apologetic. Give me a Corey Witchen that's going to.
Right? Like if these two were here admitting what they did and apologizing for what shitty, horrible people they were, maybe it would be worth watching, right? Maybe we wouldn't, maybe they wouldn't be making themselves such targets. Physician, heal thyself.
To tell the truth.
Kids
Give me a
have
Corey
been
Witchen that's right. If she knows she's going to spend the rest of her life in prison, apologize. Show some remorse, right? That's how you humanize someone.
Right.
You're not going to
Isn't it wild to listen to them talking about the exact thing that they need to do and having no awareness of it?
humanize them by that person is not going to find themselves more humanized by blaming their murdered husband.
These guys are not going to find themselves more humanized by blaming Christina and everybody else for the things that they did. So clearly they are capable of understanding this stuff, right? So it's just very revealing to me.
Right.
For a crime that was right that she committed, or by spouting all these self-help cliches.
Ones that contradict the one after the other. You're like, okay, where are you going with this? Yeah. Am I in a Tony Robbins seminar? Am I reading a junior high?
Salmon with a lemon wedge is my favorite so far. Blue River 2443 for the win. I love that. I am going to have to make some kind of a thumbnail with Dr. John as a salmon and Lauren as a lemon wedge. See, this is fun, right? This is why we watch them, so that we can get everybody's wit out on display. Salmon with a lemon wedge.
Yearbook signature. Am I reading vinyl lettering signs in Hobby Lobby? Like, where am I? Take me somewhere. Am I at a commencement speech? Is this an email forward with a sunset? Like, give me some.
Does he really think she's funny? Maybe that's it. Maybe he thinks she's funny. Maybe that's what she brings to the relationship. He thinks she's funny and he thinks she's a genius, because that would make sense. Is Suma here? Hi, Suma. Yay, Suma. You guys got to go over and watch Suma's Sarah Boone content that she's been putting out lately. It's top notch.
Direction.
Make it make sense.
I don't know.
Help it make it make sense, right? I know, right? I mean, it's over the top. I mean, I've never quite seen something like this.
What are some of the thumbs you have written down?
This is literally this is what like their first date was like. No? Isn't this how she describes their first date, where they just sat there and they just talked true crime all night? Now you can picture what it was like. It was like this. Normally Lauren doesn't talk so much, so I'm wondering if that's like a deliberate attempt to be better than they are.
Just read them all. Did you write a few of them down?
I mean, I've read a lot of them.
Oh, you didn't write them down. I thought maybe it's okay. I thought maybe you wrote down the cliches. It's okay.
I wrote down quite a few of them. Never give up on your fight. Never give up on truth and justice. Stick together. Love each other. Don't settle for good. Go for great. Always exceed expectations. Always persevere. Never quit. Just be safe and be healthy and be happy. That's all that matters. Life is.
So they're laughing at how vapid and empty Corey is, right? Coming from the empty vessel Olympics contestants here. Fascinating.
Full of color and shades of gray. Stay curious. I mean,
be like your dad. Live, laugh, love.
Like these victim-centered people here. Can you imagine being Amy or Katie clicking on this, thinking that they're gonna hear some insights about Corey's speech, that they're gonna get some some solace that's going to help them to process what they've been through. And this is what they get from the victim-centered hidden true crime people. Yeah, they're laughing at what Corey said to her poor children. They think it's hilarious. Look at them. They're having a great old time. They think it's super great. They think this is good content, right? It's sickening. It's like watching Megan and Kirsten the other day talking about the LGBT community, like shrieking with laughter over their little joke about, due to being gay, I have to leave the Mormon church, without ever once interviewing a member of the LGBTQ community, not even once imagining to themselves, what would it be like to be a lesbian in San Francisco, say, when Prop 8 went through? Nothing. That's what it's the same, right? These people are empty fucking vessels who have found significance because of literally the internet. Before the internet, these people would be nowhere.
You understand that your love is enough. Our love never failed. We have a crazy, beautiful mess of a family. I don't know. It's.
Summer says, got to jump off. Glad I got to drop by. Hope everyone has a great night. Good to see you. Happy 60th heavenly birthday to my sister Stacy today. Oh, I'm going to be 60 this year too, and that makes me feel close to Stacy. Sorry, I don't mean to be weird, but thank you for coming, Summer, and happy birthday, Stacy. We're thinking about you. Bye, Summer. H&T Boat says, remember in the 90s people would hack a website and scribble all over it? Someone should overlay a warning to victims on all their videos and websites. Yeah, I mean, it's just, right? Can you imagine literally being Katie or Amy and coming across this, or their dad or their boys even in a few years, you know? It's just sickening.
There's a lot happening.
There's a lot.
And as you said here, these are Dr. John's notes. Self-help gibberish. A string of cliches. Yeah. Right?
Like, this is not anything. So I feel like we've seen enough. I don't really want to watch anymore. It's been almost 2 hours. Oh, no, but I do. Actually, I want to get to the part. Hang on. Let me look it up. Actually, I don't want to miss it because John brags about his losing weight. So let's just see if we can find it in the transcript. I wanted to watch that. What should I search? Yep. That's not going to work. Working out. No. Oh, wait. Hang on. Let me go right back to the beginning. Ugh, I don't know how to find it. Sorry. Okay. Let me just look. How much more is left? Let's just move on a minute.
Board with her. I think part of the reason she gave the speech she did is because she was trying to persuade them. She was trying to change their minds. Eric was very unhappy in the marriage, but I'm not invalidating your emotions.
I just want to find the part where
I'm not saying your emotions are.
I want to find the part where he talks about losing his weight. Pounds, yeah. I don't know. I can't think. He was talking about how, like, he's such a splendiferous athlete that, you know, the reason he's lost all this weight is because he's just, you know, he just keeps pushing himself so hard.
Right. Exactly. I thought that it was just fascinating since everybody learned of this case because of
The book, yeah.
the book. Here we are.
That's by T.S. Eliot, which
Oh, God.
T.S. Eliot, Court for Quartets, but just humans in general.
Moment. We finally heard from these boys. We finally heard what grief really
They're
is.
wrapping it up. So
And we
we're
saw that the grief book had no impact on them whatsoever.
Yeah.
The grief book was fantasy and it remains fantasy.
Grief book was fantasy. It remains fantasy. Yeah. Well said.
But it did, oddly enough, it did introduce us to this case. That is what got our attention on this particular case because it was so peculiar.
Yeah. And a shout out to my former station who did that interview. Lives, laughs, and loves. What does she say?
All of that.
Perseverance.
None of that and all of that.
Model inmate.
Be the best inmate that there ever was.
Mhm. She's got this.
Whatever that means.
I
Yeah.
believe in her. So, all right. Well, thank you for talking this out with me. Love you.
Yep, too.
And
She loves him. That's so nice. I feel you can feel the love. Can you feel the love? Here we go. He's going to talk about it.
let's go wind down without some Moscow mules.
Did you
I'm
say
think-
without or with?
Without. I'm thinking some chamomile tea, something
Okay,
mild.
yeah.
Chamomile,
Maybe
some
I'll
wind
get
down
it
tea,
somehow.
I'll
some
take-
dream beam.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, we'll skip the
We'll skip the fentanyl laced Moscow Mule.
copper mugs. Yeah, none of that for us. Yeah, this is SpongeBob and Patrick
I
signing off.
don't look like a starfish though. Do I?
Put your hands like this.
If you believe it, you can achieve it.
Dude, of course,
be a
you
star.
can be anything.
That's
You
true.
can be a star.
I can be Patrick.
You're
Yeah. So I'm not going to be wasting my time trying to find it. So yeah, basically he goes on about the fact that like it's just that he's just like this incredible athlete. And so it's his incredible athleticism. Oh, sorry, that's my reminder to put the freezies in the freezer so that I can bring them on the bus tomorrow for the kids. Yeah. This normal mom says if Jordan Peterson is made to go to social media ethics training for psychologists, Dr. John should have to go as well. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm not going to spend that much time looking for it. He basically brags about how he's just this amazing athlete and how, when he got back to it, it was just like, it was just like riding a bike. It was like he never stopped. And so he just immediately lost a whole, like 100 pounds from being an amazing athlete. But, if you believe that, we're having a bridge sale up here in Canada at the weekend. And we could sell you a nice bridge for real cheap. Salmon and lemon wedge is definitely my favorite. That was Blue River. Wasn't that you that said that? It was perfect. It was perfect. Yeah, right? Like anybody actually believes that Dr. John is some high top tier athlete, just like he's a top tier psychologist, right? That's what they want. That's what these people want you to believe, right? That's the image, is that she's a top tier journalist and he's a top tier psychologist and they have the top tier, goods. And they don't have any of that. So yeah, I think I'm going to call it a day at 6:00. We've been going for a couple hours. I'm at my sister's place, so I need to pack everything up and get home in time to feed the little dog. So thank you all for coming and chatting and being so much fun. I have another video planned for these guys. I would like to go over, it's like I never went over the body cam footage. I never went over the text messages at the time of all this, when it all came out. I just responded to the videos of people who were supporting them. And it seems like they haven't obviously learned their lesson. And so I think we need to revisit some of that. And since I never looked at it the first place, it seemed like that would be the most interesting thing for me to do, is to go over some of that stuff. So I have that planned for Sunday. And other than that, I have some other ideas in the works, but that's my only firm plan. So thank you all so much for coming and supporting. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And hit the notifications bell, even though chances are they won't tell you in time. I was mentioned on Jolene last night. Thank you for letting me know. That's nice. Yeah. One of the things I like so much about this community is that there are all these great creators that are supporting each other, right? And not competing, but creating something larger than themselves by being cooperative. And I am very grateful and appreciative of that. And I also am a huge fan of Jolene. So that girl has the it factor, I'll tell you what. So thanks again, everybody. I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will see you for sure on Sunday and possibly maybe on Friday if I come up with some idea before then. So until then, have a good night, and I will see you soon.